Hey y'all, Google here. Excellent camera work. So, what I'm working on today, Sunday, the approximately 12th, 11th, 13th, I don't know. Here's my solar generator. And I got all this wire, extra wire. It's a 10 gauge, solar, PV rated. And I moved this generator around because of where this tank is behind the big oak tree. I have shade problems, and then I also have a driveway and gates, and I'm having some trouble where to actually mount the solar panel. I just don't want to stick it out in the middle of the field kind of thing. And I did try it over there on that fence, and it probably would have worked there, but I went ahead and moved it over to this. So the plan is, there's the wire coming out of my little pump house here. I'm going to take that, run it along the tank, and I'm going to bring it over to this railroad type post. I'm going to get one of these conduits. I'm going to use the straps here, 1-inch straps, 2-hole straps. I'm going to strap it, and I'm going to bring it up off the ground a little bit, because that loader that if and when I get it running again, see how tall it is, has trouble getting through the gates. It'll hit the wire. So I got to get it up really tall so I can just drive through here if I need to, and it won't hit the wires. So I'll run it up one pole and then across and then back down, and at the top I'm going to get off from the ground so I don't have to use a ladder, obviously. Here's a 1-inch conduit, plastic conduit, and I'm going to put that on there like that. Then I'll run the wire. That'll be the top. And I'll probably just put a screw in it to hold it tight. I'll run those 2 wires down, then they'll come out. And for now, I'm going to run them along this fence line. I'll do something else with it later, but I'll just like zip tie them to this top of this fence. And then, again, temporarily, I'm going to take the batteries off that charger solar, whatever you call the thing, generator, and I'm going to put the batteries in here, and I'm going to run both this deep freeze and that pressure pump off the same set of batteries. And I'm going to bring a wire right in from the roof down through here to charge. Get out of here. So the panels are over there. So I'll just bring them along that ridge line and just through the roof to that bottom of that valley and through that room and then into that other room and then down. So I'll be able to do away with that solar generator for now. It's worked just fine, but the cows trip over the wires, caused a few problems, and having to move it around. I'd rather have something a little more permanent. And with the amount of wire I have, I think I'm not really saving any energy drop or anything. And then I'm freeing up those batteries to be used for more than just that pump, because it's just more than enough energy for what I'm doing. So I will let you know how that goes. I'm going to try to, the family's gone for the day, so that gives me the opportunity to shut the water off without any problems. So I will let you see how it goes. I'm going to, the 2 wires I have there are 100 feet, the number 10 PV, 100 feet, and I'm not sure if it's enough. I'm going to give it a shot to come around this tank, up those poles, down the pole, and over there. And as long as I can get it into that room, I can just do whatever I need to. hopefully I could get it all the way over there in one piece. I thought about stringing it up high all the way, but it's just more practical to just run along the ground for now. Especially with all these limbs and stuff that I gotta work on. So getting it up high is probably just gonna take a beating at this point. So I'm gonna just run along the fence. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you updated on that progress. Well, what a frustrating few hours this has been. So I got that conduit on there. I used those little screws in the edge of that conduit, and it's loose because I've been messing with the wires. I was having a problem, my pump wasn't working. And if you look right there on that conduit, see if I can get that. See those little screws right there? There's a 1/2 inch self-tapping like lath screws. And that's like 12, 13 feet up there, maybe 12. It's loose right now. Just ran the wire through there. Use this little piece of PVC pipe. I loosened it right now because I was checking the wires, but if I tighten those screws, it'll hold that wire fast. So and it doesn't put too much stress. There's no corner. So it's like a giant electrical staple, really. And then I had this all woven in the fence, so it was up off the ground and all that. Oh, man. So what I ended up doing, instead of getting in that building and trying to get the batteries, and my wire ended here. So I realized it would probably be easier just for now, just to move this solar generator over here. Well, and when I was moving it, I was pulling it, and kind of like a mule not looking back. And you may remember an old video I told you I need to get bungee cords. Well, I didn't get bungee cords. I was just freewheeling it. Anyway, the battery fell off. I broke the lug off of the lead lug. I broke it off. So I've got it rigged on there with a pair of vice grips right now, using the original. I don't know how I'm going to fix that really, but sheesh, what an ordeal. Now, I got everything hooked up. The wires got stretched, pulled loose from the controller in here. So I pulled the wires loose. These connectors had all been beaten up just from all the cows tripping over the wire and just this, that, and the other. So I went ahead and put all new connectors on and did a nice job. I had to crimp a couple of new terminals on there. Anyway, it was all nice and tidy and waterproof in the way it's supposed to be. Anyway, I go in here, I hook up all my wires, get them all sorted out, make sure they're in the right place, because 3 of them got pulled loose. And I couldn't get the pump to come on. So I double checked all my connectors, took them apart, making sure the connectors were good, blah, blah, blah. Then I started checking the wires. I drug the wire, this end all the way over there. I checked the resistance, checked the ohm reading on all of them. Turns out all the wires were fine. Turns out all the connections were fine. It's the stupid charge controller is bad. I guess I shorted it out when the battery lug broke or something. I don't know. But after going through all this whole system, all these wires, checking every piece of wire, making sure it wasn't broken inside, it's the stinking controller, and it'll control the solar part and the battery part. It's charging the battery right now. The batteries are fully charged, actually. But the load quit working. No matter what, I can't get the load to work. So I just directly wired my pump to the batteries, and it works just fine. It's a stupid controller, and man, if that wasn't like, I don't know, 2 hours of wasted time. Well, anyway, it's just a process of elimination. But all of this is pretty much caused by a $2 bungee cord or whatever they cost. If I would have had a bungee cord or some kind of strap on that battery, it wouldn't have fallen off and broken and shorted everything out. And it's just the little things, man. Just the little things. And I wasn't even worried about it because I wasn't going to use the charge controller. I might have been better off go ahead and try to get the batteries moved and splice this wire. I was just at the end of my 100-foot wire right here. So, anyway, I ended up taking the wire straight up when it comes out of the pump house. Just it saved the most wire. I get the most reach out of the wire. Just go ahead and going straight up and then over and down, rather than bringing it along the ground and then up and just bring it up. And I gained, I don't know, 8 or 10 feet doing it that way. So, but I still couldn't quite make it. But I'm only going to be adding maybe 10 or 15 feet to that wire. So it's only using 8 amps as it is. And from the calculations I saw, that 10 gauge is good for up to like 16 amps or something at 100 feet, or maybe less, but it's definitely good for 8. It's never going to be over 8 because the pump usually is probably running at 5 or 6. So this number 10, the point being is if I make it 120 feet long, I don't think it's going to be 100, maybe 115. I just got to go from here into that building. I'll put the batteries just right on the other side of the wall. Anyway, all this to just free up some battery usage. It's just way too much battery for what I'm doing. It's just silly. Either that or I just need to get some smaller cell batteries or something. But I figured a bigger battery bank and run deep freeze and the pump off of it. It would just save resources and it would put more batteries to work, more panels to work. So, and now I've lost my daylight just dealing with this. What a drag, man. But anyway, I got it figured out. I'm going to go put a new charge controller on and everything should work. Now those charge controllers are like $15 or less on the river or wherever you want to get them. Make sure you have extras if you're going to use these cheap things. That's just the way I do it. But I sure paid the price today, didn't I? I don't know if a good, higher quality one would have shorted out. Battery's going dead on this thing. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. So I went and got myself a new battery for this camera. It's going dead. It's still blinking like it's going to die. Freshly charged battery. Okay, whatever. This is the way the day's going. Here's my new 24 volt, 15 amp charge controller. And there it is. It's 30 amp. It'll either do 12 or 24 volts. So I buy the ones that they figured out on their own. 30 amps, that's pretty decent. That'll, just for these little bitty jobs I give them. So anyway, I'm gonna get this thing hooked up. I think I bought this used like new from Amazon warehouse. And I probably paid like $11 or $12 for it, whatever. So I'm gonna switch all these wires over and see if my pump will work. Talk about going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man. I've been running all over the place trying to figure out, did I stretch a wire? Did I break a wire? Did I short out a wire? Is my terminal no good? What's going on here? Are my connectors bad? Blah, blah, blah. So sometimes I wish there was someone to call to take care of this stuff. So I'm going to swap this baby out. Well, I found out what's going on with this camera. The battery's fine. I'm almost out of memory. And all this walking around winding, I lost my little screwdriver. Got to have a little tiny screwdriver to work with the charge controller. And I'm always losing those stupid things. And now I've lost the one I had. And I'm about to go try to find another one. Well, this card is full, so I'll get this camera empty and talk to you later. Just the fun of it all. Y'all have a good one.